Mr. Beast has a burger chain. Can we have our scientific burger chain?
The Science Burger.
Science Burger.
Yeah.
Theory Burger.
Theory Burger.
Theory Burger.
1 hour later.
This looks like the worst burger.
Hey guys, and welcome to Food Theory.
Oh!
That's a different channel. That's a different intro. It's Hello Internet. Welcome to Food Theory.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's fine. I've been doing a lot of GT Live recording lately. Anyway, we are here today, ladies and gentlemen, as a follow-up on our Does Burger Stack Order Matter episode. This is not a part 2. This is a addendum.
It's up here. It's up here? Up here? This way.
Up
It's this
and to
way.
the left.
It's this way.
But you want to watch that episode because in that episode, we ultimately concluded that the order in which you stack your ingredients does matter.
That's right, and not just from a stability standpoint either. We were mind blown to learn how much ingredient stack order affects the taste of a burger. And believe it or not, we found the best tasting stack order to be identical to the double Krabby Patty with cheese from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Put a patty on a bun with lettuce, cheese, onions, tomatoes, ketchup, mustard, pickles, and top bun together in that order.
But in that episode, many of you thought that we were going to conclude something a bit different. What we should be stacking with. Not just ideal stack order, but why it matters and how we can best optimize it. Cause sure, when your ingredients are lettuce, cheese, onion, tomato, ketchup, mayo, and pickle, following the example of old SpongeBob is the ideal way to stack. That, in our opinion, is what's going to get you the best flavor experience. But it doesn't mean it's the best flavor overall. Cause remember, the ingredients we tested in the previous episode were selected because they're the most popular and appeared in emojis. They were the quintessential burger ingredients, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're the right burger ingredients. What happens if you start getting a bit experimental? So today, we're taking it a step further, using our knowledge of burger stacking and applying it to try and make the best burger possible. What ingredients should you be putting on that burger? Today, we're focused on the chemistry of taste and why certain flavors pair well together, then taking those lessons to create the ideal ingredient list to make the perfect burger bite. Now, if you're anything like me, you've had some very delicious burgers with some very atypical ingredients. Pineapple, avocado, dried cranberries, goat cheese, aioli. When I visited Australia, I was surprised that huge slices of beet were actually common on the menu, and it gave the burger a great umami flavor. And one of the best burgers I've had in my entire life was the 6-weeker at Stout in Hollywood, which had fig jam on it. And really, that is the beauty of a burger. There aren't any hard and fast rules about what can and can't go on them. The only rule is that it has to taste good. And yet there have to be some rules, right? Like, if you could just throw a bunch of ingredients together at random, every one of us would be a professional chef. What I'm curious to know is this: what exactly makes one dish tastier than another? Does science offer us any objective truths in this area? And most importantly, can we use that science to improve the taste of our food? So saddle up, theorists. Today, Steph and I are going to try to beef up our burgers with the science of flavor pairing. So flavor pairing is a field of study that's exploded in popularity in recent years, and it's not hard to understand why. Every chef, mixologist, and food brand out there is looking for new undiscovered flavor combinations. The basic idea is that 80% of what we consider to be taste is actually smell. And so food pairings take special interest in aroma compounds, the molecules that are responsible for odors. There are many, many, many different aroma compounds, and each one communicates a different scent to the olfactory receptors in our nasal cavities. The smell of coffee, for example, actually contains over 1,000 different aromas. So the basic theory behind food pairing is that the more aroma compounds two foods share, the better those two foods will pair together. It's important to mention that this is a relatively new field of study and that this theory remains disputed in academic circles. Nonetheless, the website foodpairing.com has dedicated itself to this approach, and as such, has been building out their interactive website for the past decade. The website basically works like this. First, you select multiple foods, then a green dot appears between them. The bigger the green dot, the more aroma compounds that are shared, and theoretically, the better those two foods should pair together. So, as we crashed around on the website, we found that this leads to some pairings that you'd expect, like wine and cheese, but also some pairings that you might not expect, like olive oil and banana. By the way, this episode is 100% hashtag not spawn, but I do want to point out one other cool thing about the site. As you add ingredients, the site's suggestions adjust to consider all the ingredients currently in play. So, just as an example, here are all the foods that pair best with a hamburger patty. But after we add mustard, notice how the top 4 suggestions change a bit. Rabbit remains in the number 1 slot, but dab moves up a couple of positions. And pork loin and hazelnut puree are brand new faces altogether. So it seems like a pretty useful site at a glance for this episode, but it all kind of hinges on whether their aromatic approach to flavor theory holds water. So without any further ado, let's take it for a spin and see how this whole thing works. First, Steph and I harnessed the wisdom of SpongeBob and constructed a standard baseline burger, the double Krabby Patty with cheese. As I mentioned before, they've been building and expanding this food pairing site for the past decade, so the catalog of foods on here is honestly pretty impressive, but they still don't have every food out there. The one that actually surprised me the most was the lack of mayo. So without that as a testable option, we defaulted back to the burger the way it was originally meant to be, with mustard.
How is it, Steph? Don't you love these episodes where you're just awkwardly eating on camera for an extended period of time and it's really uncomfortable? The last episode, I had mayo on my cheek in literally every shot that we took, and no one told me that I had it there. Thanks a lot, guys. Wow, this is an amazing burger. Look at these flavor pairings.
It's still a great burger, by the way. It's really good.
It's so good.
So that's actually gonna be hard to beat for me, I think, but I'm open. My mind is open.
Now, when we plugged these ingredients into foodpairing.com, we were a bit surprised to see that there were a whole lot of tiny, tiny green dots going on. I really expected a burger that delicious to have some shared aromas. I mean, these are some of the most popular, tried and true hamburger ingredients out there. So this meant either one of two things was true. Either foodpairing.com was wrong, or it was actually possible to make a cheeseburger way more delicious than this basic SpongeBob burger we made. So to find out the truth, we decided to put the food pairing website to the test.
Steph and I are actually gonna compete to make the better tasting burger, but here's the rules of the game. We can only replace ingredients of our standard burger with things that have a bigger green circle in them. So basically things that should better aromatically match.
Yep, we're gonna give it a try and see whose burger is the winner and whose burger is still basic.
Basic burger? Isn't that like 2018, 2017?
Yeah,
Are we
definitely.
dating ourselves? We're dating ourselves pretty hardcore.
I-
That's pretty
I- I don't-
ratchet.
I don't think-
ratchet?
I don't
ratchet?
think we-
Are we
I don't-
being ratchet right now?
I don't think we need the memes for that.
No.
It's fine.
That was my hair. Is it good?
Yeah, it's a little 2017 as well.
What?
Now for my burger, which I named the Matty Patty, thank you very much, I'm here all week, I kept almost all the basic SpongeBob burger ingredients in place, especially the two sauces, because again, the website is a bit skimpy when it comes to condiments, but I did make a few key changes elsewhere in the burger.
The lettuce, definitely one of the lower scorers. Does it really need to be there? Is there something better? So I actually went with sprouts. Sprouts have a much bigger circle in that foodpairings.com list. They are very aromatic. They should absolutely work better to still provide that nice green vegetable crunch in the middle, but with a flavor that's gonna better match all the other ingredients. Secondly, ciabatta bread. I think that's gonna be a big winner. And then to finish things off, I decided to make it a little spicy because I'm a man who loves bold flavor and spicy food, as you can tell from the spicy food episode that we did early in the channel's history. I'd say I'm decent with spicy foods. Stephanie, meanwhile.
I'm a wimpy.
How's your mouth feeling at this point, Steph? So I included some chipotle peppers, which should give a little bit of smokiness to really pair with the meat of the burger, but then also give it a little heat, a little bit of spice.
Your burger's definitely not as good as mine, but I'm definitely excited to try it.
Oh, you don't know yet. I am hopeful and excited.
And scientifically minded.
Interesting.
Honestly, Steph and I were both really surprised by how unexciting the spicier burger turned out. True to the website, the flavors did blend really nicely, but what I didn't expect was that the blend actually made for a surprisingly boring burger experience.
This is not actually a thrilling burger. This is a very nice burger. This feels like a very kind of upper end burger.
Yeah, I think Stephanie's totally right. I think the aromatics matching and overlapping is actually creating a blended experience, but maybe when you're building a burger, it's not about creating a matching experience, it's about creating that dissonance, something that's going to hit a lot of different parts of your mouth in different ways at different times. All right, so there you go, friends. That's the Matty Patty. We'll see what Steph has in store.
Dun da da dun.
All right.
The less creatively named Steffi Patty.
Yeah, doesn't have the same ring.
I
to it.
have the same last name as you.
That is-
The patty pun still works, but it feels a bit derivative now, doesn't it?
Going first. Nailed it.
This has a lot of stuff that I just love in general to eat.
Steph's aim was to achieve a more cohesive burger experience with earthy, savory flavors, and she swapped out a lot of the bolder flavors in the basic SpongeBob burger for new, higher-ranking ingredients like a toasted bun, mushrooms instead of pickles, garlic puree instead of mustard, Gruyere instead of sharp cheddar, and instead of crispy onions, she went with crispy bacon, which I personally felt was a bit unfair.
Bacon is like the aimbot of burgers. You are literally going into online matches and dominating because you just had bacon in it. Bacon is the omni food.
I'm sorry that my burger is OP and you are jelly.
But once we bit into the Steffi patty, it became clear that I shouldn't have been worried. Just like the Maddie patty, the Steffi patty turned out, well, boring too.
Here's the thing. I think it's a really good burger, but again, there's no ebb and flow. Like, there's not a lot of dynamics in these burgers. You're getting a really smooth, nice flavor throughout. Not a lot of up and down, no surprises. This is like the burger for people who hate surprise parties.
Right? I mean, it's a good flavor.
Yeah.
It's a very good flavor, don't get me wrong.
It's earthy, it's nice, it's got a really well-roundedness to it, but it's just the one flavor.
So at this point, we decided that we were through doing boring burgers. The time had come for us to pull out all the stops and really get down to business.
So we have thrown all our taste preferences aside and we've let the AI decide what we're gonna eat.
Is this the computy patty?
This is the computer controls my life for 24 hours challenge.
That's right, we went ahead and let the food pairing website pick all the ingredients for the burger, no matter how insane those ingredients seemed. Now, the bread that matched our hamburger patty the closest was ciabatta, so we started there. Gruyere had the most aromatic matches of any cheese, beetroot leaves had the largest green dot of any leafy veg, and honestly, the burger was looking pretty appetizing at this point. But then we got to the condiments and things got a bit wacky. The computer chose buckwheat, honey, and hummus. I should also mention that there were a number of really liquidy ingredients that matched better and could have been used as the quote-unquote condiments like olive oil, fish sauce, soy sauce, but we decided to make the executive call that the condiment should have enough viscosity to actually stick and stay on the burger. Slices of chipotle pepper were subbed in for the pickle chips, and my old nemesis bacon wound up being a much higher scoring crispy option than crispy onion.
It's also worth noting that you'll see tomatoes in there, just like regular tomatoes, except they're not. These are actually canned tomatoes, because canned tomatoes have a slightly higher aromaticity than fresh.
Right? Very weird, very interesting. I don't know if I'm excited about that. Like canned tomatoes?
Who knows? Might be good.
We'll see. All right, so this is bizarre. Over the teeth, over the gums, friends. It's something I put in my mouth. That's an odd one, friends. Probably the strangest burger I've ever had in my life. Give me your feedback, Steph.
Go with me here?
Yeah.
The flavor profile I'm getting is spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, you know what? I don't disagree.
So it doesn't taste like a burger,
I
but
don't
it
disagree.
does taste like spaghetti and meatballs.
It's hard to convey to you.
That's the best way I can describe the flavor of this burger.
I was trying to figure out a way to articulate the fact that I had tasted something strange like this before, and that's exactly it. You are 100% on point. It is. The canned tomato and the honey provide the tomatoey sweetness that comes with a lot of marinara sauces.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I think we just happened upon a combination that's a classic for a reason, because it has a very complementary aromatic profile. This burger happens to simulate that
That's so
same
weird.
profile.
Okay, so I'm gonna admit it, friends. Going into this episode, I thought the computer-generated burger was gonna be the big, amazing climax of the episode. I figured a burger constructed with zero human input would either work out ridiculously well or be embarrassingly bad. What I hadn't anticipated was that pairing similar aromas would result in an average, flat-tasting, one-note burger, no matter how bizarre the ingredients got. Also, not once did I expect it to create something that tasted like spaghetti. So at this point, my worst fears about the episode were coming true. Not only had we failed to improve upon the basic SpongeBob SquarePants-inspired burger, but it seemed our hypothesis was completely backwards. Ingredients that shared fewer aromatic compounds actually seemed to be performing better in the taste test. So Steph and I decided we'd develop one final burger, but this time we'd flip the rules on their head and use the food pairing website to help identify burger ingredients with smaller green dots. After running to the store for new ingredients, we were ready to test out the dissonant burger.
This seems like a good balance between dissonant flavor.
It's like a party in a bag. Do you want one?
You're a party in a bag. Party that I'm not attending.
For the dissonant burger, we kept a few of the lowest scoring ingredients as is. The lettuce stayed, as did ketchup and pickle, but the wheat bread bun got swapped out for white bread, and mustard was swapped out for horseradish. Bell pepper replaced the tomato, and potato chips, which we'd actually both had on sandwiches before, replaced the onion. And maybe strangest of all, creamy brie became our cheese. Now, I'll admit, once we finally got the dissonant burger constructed, we started to have second thoughts about the new direction we'd taken.
This looks like the worst burger.
I
Okay.
hope that we don't wind up with a conclusion today of the Krabby Patty is still the best. That's what's gonna happen, isn't it?
Okay.
We'd be like, hey, remember that last time where we took regular hamburger ingredients and made a really good burger out of them?
That was it.
That's it, friends.
It does not look good.
Who's gonna take the first bite? Ready?
Wait, is it winner gets it or loser gets it?
Winner. Loser gets it. Loser
gets
takes
it?
first bite.
Okay, ready?
Loser takes first bite. Ready?
Loser takes first bite?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot.
We both wanted to be loose. Matthew and I play a lot of mind games when it comes to rock, paper, scissors. Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah, you wanted to take first bite.
Oh,
Stephanie missed the rules. I don't get. I was wondering why. Ooh, yeah, take a big old bite. Make sure you get a lot of horseradish in there.
I don't even want to like it. And this is not playing it up at all for the camera, but I kind of like it.
Huh.
I get a really nice crunch from the bell pepper. I get a little saltiness from the chip. The brie is very smooth. Here, I want another bite too.
Huh. I am shocked by how not nasty this is. A lot of these stronger ingredients, like the bell pepper and the horseradish, super mellow when mixed in with everything else. They complement each other in a strange way.
I would consider bringing some of these ingredients into a regular burger, like on a regular rotation. They're really good. I took, after 2 bites,
Yep.
I'm on board. I'm like on board with this burger.
Is this the best burger? No. I'm not gonna say that like this combination of ingredients is like the best burger I've ever
No,
had.
but it's not, but it has the right idea is the
But it's
thing.
really
actually.
good. It's shockingly good, especially considering the strange components that have gone into it. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm so shocked. So we went into this episode thinking that the more that we followed along with pairing the ingredients correctly, pairing them so that they went together, the better the burger would taste. But there are some dishes, and maybe there's a lot of dishes actually, where contrast is actually the important thing that makes the dish interesting. And burgers seem to be like a great example of that. Again, we went into a burger episode thinking that we knew exactly how it was gonna turn out, and again, we were wrong.
I'm blown away.
So what did today's experiment show us? Well, the flavors suggested by foodpairing.com definitely blended well, but sometimes blending isn't what you're actually looking for. So perhaps more importantly, we learned that there's a bit more to making an exciting, delicious dish than simply obeying the size of a green dot generated by a computer. After all, our basic SpongeBob-inspired burger was the best of the bunch, and that was created with 0 input from the website. So all you chefs out there can relax. Doesn't feel like the computers are coming for your jobs anytime soon. That said, it really feels like food pairing can be wielded as a tool to discover new creative twists to dishes. I'm not sure the equation is as simple as more shared aroma compounds equals better pairing ingredients, but having that data is still really cool, and maybe that info can be wielded in a different, more effective way. Even though we didn't end up developing a cohesive burger that we can definitively say is the best tasting burger ever, the site did direct us towards some very interesting ingredients that will definitely work into our backyard burgers in the future. Horseradish was fantastic, as were the potato chips, and we'll definitely play around with brie down the line too. By the way, this is a call out to you guys, the loyal theorists. If you have yourself a burger recipe that you're especially proud of, let us know either in the comments below or on the Game Theorist subreddit. Link is down in the description below, because guess what? We are putting the challenge to you guys now.
Yeah, comment down below. Tell us your burger combos.
Yeah,
and
share it.
I want to know where they are on the flavor profile wheel.
Who knows? Maybe one day we'll do a part 3 where we test your recipes.
Oh, that would be so fun.
And then we can come up with kind of like Tournament of Champions, best overall burger recipe of all time. I kind of love that idea. We're doing that idea. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been fascinating for us. I hope it's been interesting for you. And remember, it's all just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit.
Friends, if you're waiting for a sign that you should go watch our episode on Burger Stack Order, this is it. Our findings from that episode were actually incorporated into every burger that we crafted today. So I guess you could say that the 2 episodes pair well. Also, let me reiterate here, we are deadly serious about those burger recipes. We would love to hear what you've come up with, because I fully intend on doing a Tournament of Champions burger style with your recipes. So please send them in, again, in the comments below or on the Game Theorist subreddit. We'll do the Tournament of Champions to find the best overall burger recipe for 2021 sometime before the end of the year. All right, I can't wait to taste what you all have crafted. I'll see you next week.